Today, let's talk about how to tackle those tasks that you know you need to do, but just don't feel like doing. Sometimes, getting up and starting these things can feel like a real battle, right? Especially when it's a task that seems boring, challenging, or just unpleasant. Finding motivation can feel almost impossible. But don't worry. Today, I'll share some powerful strategies with you. Hopefully, after watching this video, handling those tough tasks will feel a little easier. We all have an inner resistance that holds us back from tackling tasks we'd rather avoid. This resistance acts like an internal defense mechanism, telling us, let's leave it for tomorrow. Here's the thing. Understanding why you resist is key to overcoming it. Lack of motivation often comes from seeing a task as hard, dull, or even fearing we might fail. When you honestly ask yourself, why don't I want to do this? You may find that the task isn't as scary or overwhelming as it seems. Recognizing your resistance is the first step to talking yourself into action. When a big task seems daunting, breaking it down into tiny steps works wonders. Say, for instance, you need to clean a whole room. Tackling it all at once might seem overwhelming. But if you break it into smaller pieces, like starting with the desk, then moving on to the chairs, the task becomes much more manageable. Each small achievement motivates you to move to the next step. Breaking tasks into smaller parts makes not only starting, but also continuing easier. Rewarding yourself after completing a task can be a great motivator. When our brains receive a reward, they release dopamine, a chemical that makes us feel good about what we did. So, before starting something you're dreading, think of a reward you'll give yourself afterward. This could be a cup of your favorite coffee, an episode of your favorite show, or a short walk. These small but meaningful rewards can keep your motivation high. Many people can't start something unless they know they'll do it perfectly. But here's the thing. The hard part is getting started, not being perfect. Sometimes simply telling yourself, I'll just start, is all it takes. Once you begin, the momentum will keep you going, and you'll find yourself in the flow. Saying to yourself, it doesn't have to be perfect. Starting is enough, can bring a sense of freedom that makes it easier to act. Sometimes, our lack of motivation is due to a temporary mood or stress. In these moments, you might feel like saying, I don't have the energy today. I can't do this. However, it's essential to recognize that this lack of motivation is just a passing feeling, and to accept it as normal. Remind yourself, this is just how I feel right now. This feeling will pass, and you'll find it easier to get moving. When you complete a task, celebrating is great, but tracking your progress is just as important. You can jot down tasks and check off each phase you complete. Seeing these small accomplishments keeps you reminded of your progress and motivates you to tackle even larger tasks. At the end of the day, reviewing even the smallest tasks you completed reinforces a sense of accomplishment and helps you prepare for tomorrow. Seeing your progress boosts motivation. Sometimes, tackling a task alone can feel even harder. For particularly dull or challenging jobs, finding someone who can support you can make a difference. Planning a time to tackle tasks with friends or family can boost your motivation. Having the support of people around you makes tasks more enjoyable, and knowing someone is with you makes you feel empowered to face anything. Sometimes things don't go as planned. Life can throw all our plans upside down. In such situations, it's crucial to be kind to yourself. Reevaluate your goals and be flexible when needed. Without blaming yourself, take a step back. Try to understand and find ways to motivate yourself anew. We're not going to have the same energy every day. Allowing ourselves this flexibility is the healthiest approach. Every task has a purpose. Why does this task matter to you? Reminding yourself of this can give you strength even on tough days. Thinking about the positive impact the task will have on you or others can reignite your motivation. For tasks that add meaning to your life, this method can make it much easier to get things done. Lastly, don't forget the simplest rule. Action itself is the most effective way to change your mindset. The more you take action, the stronger you feel. Once you start moving, you'll find yourself remotivated. Even a small step helps reduce your resistance to the task. Remember, motivation isn't always something we wait for. It's a power we can create by taking action. When you start tackling those tough tasks, you'll discover the feeling of pushing your limits and tapping into your true potential. Now, take the first small step and get moving. This isn't just the key to today, it's the key to your life.